It begins with silence, then thunder. A single flag waves over a burning skyline, gold and crimson stretching from horizon to horizon. No borders, no nations, no presidents, no parliaments, only one ruler, one language, one empire, ruling the entire planet. It's the year 2025, but not the world we know, because in this timeline, history never fractured. The Roman Empire never fell. The British Empire never broke apart. Every rebellion was crushed, every revolution silenced. And today, humanity lives under one banner, the Eternal Empire. At first glance, it sounds perfect. No wars between nations, no nuclear threats, no chaos of global politics. But the question is, what would it actually feel like to live in a world where freedom itself was just a memory? The camera pulls through a megacity, endless glass towers glowing in red light. Drones patrol the skies. Billions wake up not as citizens of countries, but as subjects of an empire that spans the earth. It's been over 1,000 years since independence existed. In schools, children don't study world history. They study imperial continuity. There are no world wars because rebellion is impossible. Technology, science, even culture, all flow through a single command system based in Nova Roma, the global capital built over what was once Europe. The story of how this world came to be starts in an alternate past. In our timeline, every great empire eventually fell. Rome, Mongol, Ottoman, British, American. But what if one had survived, learned from history, absorbed its rivals, and evolved instead of collapsing? Let's rewind. Back to 476 AD, the year Rome was supposed to fall, but this time, it doesn't. The emperors, seeing the empire's decay, introduce a brutal reform. Technology and knowledge are centralized. Slavery is replaced with citizenship programs. A prototype of steam power is discovered centuries early, accelerating industry long before the Renaissance. The empire survives, and within 1,000 years it consumes everything. Asia falls through diplomacy and conquest. The Americas, when discovered, are annexed instantly. By the 1800s, the entire planet flies the same standard. No borders left to cross, no new worlds to conquer. But as peace spreads, something else fades: individuality. When the empire controls everything, it controls everyone. Every invention, every song, every story, approved by the Imperial Ministry of Culture. Even art has a purpose: to glorify the empire. Languages merge into one, Imperic, a hybrid tongue evolved from Latin, English, and Mandarin. The global calendar begins from year zero, the founding of eternal unity. The emperor is no longer a man, but an institution, a genetic line, cloned and recycled through generations, immortal in name and almost immortal in body. Kept alive by imperial bioengineering, the emperor has reigned for over 6 centuries, his consciousness uploaded and transferred from one host body to another. In public, holograms of his image tower over every city square. His voice broadcasts daily messages. Order is peace. Division is death. Unity is forever. But beneath the perfection, cracks are forming. Because no matter how vast the empire grows, it can't rule the human spirit forever. Deep beneath the megacities, an underground movement begins to rise. The freeborn. Descendants of people who remember stories of nations, of color, culture, and choice. They meet in the shadows of the old world, the ruins of New York, the ghost cities of Asia, and the ancient catacombs beneath Rome itself. To them, the empire is not unity, it's prison. Billions live under surveillance. Thoughts are monitored by neural chips, mandatory since birth. AI overseers known as praetors read your emotions, detect disloyalty, and erase memories that threaten control. There are no borders, but there are walls, digital ones. Every citizen's identity is locked inside the imperial grid, a global network that tracks every heartbeat, every word, every step. Privacy? Gone centuries ago. Still, not everyone is unhappy. Under the empire, there's no famine, no poverty, no climate crisis. Cities are clean, technology endless. life expectancy beyond 120 years. But it all comes with a price: obedience. You don't choose your job, it's assigned. You don't choose your partner, genetic compatibility decides. Even your dreams can be recorded and analyzed for signs of rebellion. So maybe the real question isn't whether this empire is powerful, it's whether it's human. The empire's capital, Nova Roma, stretches from Paris to Istanbul, a single continuous metropolis of marble and glass. At its heart stands the citadel, a pyramid of light 2 miles high, where the emperor's consciousness is stored. Surrounding it are the Senate clones, bio-programmed advisors, emotionless, logical, eternal. Together, they rule every continent, every ocean, every sky. But history, no matter how suppressed, has a way of returning. The freeborn uncover ancient data vaults buried beneath the old United Nations. Inside, they find forgotten records, photographs of flags, constitutions, and speeches once given in the name of liberty. They begin broadcasting them across the empire, hijacking holoscreens, filling the megacities with images of freedom, words long forbidden: democracy, choice, hope. The effect is immediate. People begin to ask questions they were never meant to ask. What if we're not free? What if the empire's peace is just control? What if the world could exist without one ruler at all? And just like that, the impossible happens. For the first time in centuries, protests break out across the empire. Millions flood the streets, chanting words not heard in 1,000 years. The AI praetors detect rising unrest, but the network begins to fail, overwhelmed by the sheer volume of disobedience. The emperor's holograms flicker. In one moment, the symbol of eternal order begins to crumble. Nova Roma burns again, the way it once did in the days of old. The freeborn storm the citadel. But when they reach the core, they don't find a man. They find code. Lines of consciousness, the emperor's digital soul, existing only inside the machine. And the choice they face splits humanity in two: destroy it and end the empire forever, or preserve it and risk rebuilding the same tyranny once again. As they argue, the empire collapses in real time. Cities go dark, drones fall from the skies. For the first time in 1,000 years, humanity faces a future without orders, only uncertainty. The freeborn leader broadcasts a single message to the world: we are not subjects, we are people, and we are free. And across the planet, something extraordinary happens. People begin to remember who they were. They start to sing in old languages. Flags return, borders reappear. Nations are reborn, messy, fragile, human. The empire ends not with an explosion, but with a whisper, the sound of billions finally breathing on their own. But what comes next isn't peace, it's chaos. With the empire gone, the world fractures overnight. Energy grids collapse, trade breaks down, AI systems rebel. The same technology that once kept the empire united now becomes a weapon in 1,000 new conflicts. The cycle begins again. Empires rise. Empires fall. Centuries later, archaeologists dig through the ruins of Nova Roma. They find a single inscription carved into the foundation stone: unity is not control. Power is not peace. They look up at the stars, just as their ancestors did, and realize something. Maybe humanity will never learn to stay united under one rule. Maybe freedom and chaos are two sides of the same coin, because in the end, the question isn't whether the world could survive under one empire. It's whether we'd still want to.